Right. I'm going to talk about understanding. This video, we've bumped into it with Ricardo, and it might be a good thing to turn to, because we've got that, haven't we? We're a bag of calculators that doesn't understand anything, and nothing has ever understood anything in the entire universe, and it never will. Because when it comes down to, it's bloody obvious. It's no shock to you. All we're saying, okay, there are bits of things. There are atoms or chemicals, the periodic table, whatever you want to say. The periodic table cannot understand anything. Take the human body, it's made up of hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon and something. Those things cannot understand anything in what we think that we want to think the idea of the word understanding is. It's like asking a rock to understand something. It can't do it. Basically, when we're saying things like I understand, we're always lying, but that doesn't matter. We're just establishing that rocks or the periodic table things, in no sort of combination, it matters not what combination you put them in, cannot understand anything. All right. But on this side, we have the word understand and understanding. Right, so I brought it up with Ricardo, or Ricardo brought it up, I forget which, doesn't matter. So let's go into what we might be meaning by understanding. And I thought of it was actually last night in the bath. I thought of the understanding of what Spinoza was saying about presubstantiation. Okay. I chose that. As all these things, I might even get to this in this video. It comes to you, right? What Spinoza says about transubstantiation. It came to me, and I've got no reason to change it as the example I'm going to use. So I'm going to use that. Do you understand what Spinoza said about transubstantiation? Now, I'm not even sure Spinoza said anything about transubstantiation, but he probably did. Okay. What do we mean by understanding? It seems to me that you can have, and we'll come back to it, it most all is perhaps. We can understand, you could learn by rote, go through all Spinoza's books, and pick out all the bits on transubstantiation and learn them by heart, so you can say them. And that would be probably to either impress very strange friends that you might have, or to pass an exam. In other words, you've got it here, and you can reproduce it for the examination to a certain percentage, which passes the examination result, so you pass the exam. The other one would be, and more likely, you'd get to learn what other dead Germans had written about what Spinoza was talking about when he was talking about transubstantiation. Now, this is very similar to the other one. You just learn enough about what other people said Spinoza was talking about, so that you can talk to your very strange friends, or again, you go to an examination and you can regurgitate what what some other people have said Spinoza was talking about, to the extent that, and you've got to express it right, that you can pass the examination. That is mostly what understanding is. Now, on this side, let's say, I like to use this side of my head. You know what I do with my hands. On this side is kind of a slightly different sort of understanding, or a completely different sort of understanding, depending which way you might look at it, is to understand what Spinoza was actually really trying to say when he was talking about transubstantiation. you've got it. You can learn his words. You can learn what other people say about his words. You can learn about what other people say that they think that he was really on about. But what I'm is, can you really understand what he was really saying about transubstantiation? See? Understanding. And the answer is always no, of course, because you can't know. Nobody can know. Because writing or saying never conveys what... There are two different ways about that. You can say it never really conveys what you're thinking, or you can say, as I know from doing these videos, and it's my great interest in it, that I don't know what I'm talking about. I just sit here in front of a camera and stuff comes out. I don't know what's going to happen beforehand. And afterwards, lots of it, I can't explain what the hell I was talking about. So you'll never get to know what some other person, why other person was really saying something, because it was even subconscious overbubble-ations out of some other person. They didn't even know what they were talking about. So do you see the different types of understanding? Now, Ricardo is a classic example, if I might say Ricardo, hello Ricardo, of the first one. Spinoza, you look it up in the dictionary, who's this Spinoza tit? Transubstantiation, what's one of them? Look that up in the dictionary. And then look up maybe Wikipedia and see what some people said Spinoza might have been saying about transubstantiation. Now, this is what I'm saying about not understanding anything. What the main thing here is that most people, what everybody always does, is do some sort of rote learning to regurgitate calculator. So you fix a calculator that when the input comes, it will do a consistent output. And that's what understanding is. It's a consistent output that is recognized as the accepted consistent output by other people. It's not understanding. It's just, what's your wife's name? Jane. It's not an understanding of what your wife's name is. It's just a consistent output that agrees with what other people's output would be about what your wife's name is. Jane. It's not an understanding. Now, if you think, well, that's a petty example, think of a complicated example of what you understand or what you think you understand, and think about how you understand it, and you'll find that it's just a consistent output that is consistent with what other people would consistently output. And that is called understanding. But you can see how easy it is to program a calculator for that sort of understanding, which isn't understanding, it's just consistent outputting. Consistent outputting that agrees with other people's consistent outputting. I'll leave it there. A, because it's very complicated, and B, because I'm running out of battery on my camera. Bye.